Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook podcast, proudly brought to you by Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams. It's been a while since I last saw you lot. It's been a week. Plenty has happened.
It's been a while.
Week one of NRL Finals is done and dusted. It was tremendous to see my Joey Manu curse finally broken. 5 tries against the Penrith Panthers.
Yep, unbelievable.
The equivalent of 190 Supercoach points.
It's not broken though, because you didn't own him.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it happened a week too late for a spy. How are you? How's your week been?
Good, mate. Yeah, back up and running. Shaved half a second off my 100 times. That's good. And Sharky's beaten Melbourne. I wouldn't say I didn't see it coming, but it's thrown a spanner in the works, that's for sure.
All
Finals footy. Got to love this time of year.
Clementine, Cassidy, 2021 6th place finisher. How was your week?
My week's been great. After the potty, I went straight back up to Queensland. Was up there for a while. Had a beautiful weekend. And then the big thing, how about the Bulldogs annihilating Manly? Oh my God, did you see that coming?
I did not see that coming.
Huge
Incredible.
result.
Yeah.
Good to see you've
Mental
kept the Wales jersey on as well. Good to see.
I haven't taken this off. I haven't taken it off.
No, it's impressive. That's why I'm
since
impressed.
SJ's last game.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm wearing it for the rest of the year.
And
This is me.
if you think Greg Marju's 7 tries was impressive, again, a week late for my Supercoach team, Matty the Waterboy is currently on a plane on his way to Europe, but he's managed to get the setup in first class sorted for himself.
Plane
and he's
Wi-Fi.
still producing the podcast.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you
Yeah,
guys
mate.
hear me all good?
Yep.
Oh, okay, good.
There's a slight delay. I'll let you talk.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I couldn't actually hear what you said at the start, but I assume you asked how the weekend was. I went out to Penrith Park. I saw Joey Manu score 5 tries. It was crazy that the Roosters still lost by 40. But yeah, on my way to Greece right now.
Yes. Oh, Matty the Waterboy. Grease bound, yet still producing the podcast. Guys and girls, it is the SC Playbook Award Show for 2024. And we're going to get straight into it. Funny stuff's over. Let's get serious. Down to business.
Funny stuff. I was dead serious.
I'm not
Supercoach.
taking this jersey off ever.
I know. The Supercoach Team of the Year will be named. We have this shortlist. We have our votes. We'll put it together for every single position. We'll drop our MVP, our Cheepy, our Coaches Award, finishing off with Clem's Specialty Awards for the season. Criteria. Now, obviously this is going to be, I was going to say very subjective, almost entirely. However, we're not going to be boring and go straight off stats. Who had the biggest average? Who scored the most points? Because that would be a very boring team of the year. It goes into a lot of different things when we name our team of the year and put our votes in, because it could be things like, all right, who excelled during head-to-head finals and went big for head-to-head coaches and won a grand final, whatever that might be. Who was super durable? Who played the most games? Who was ultra consistent? They might not have gone massive, but didn't have any poor scores. They might have got you through Origin period, whatever it might be. It's not towards our teams. We're being neutral, the game in general. We're going to put our awards in. So let's start it off. And Spy, we'll start the top or the bottom? We'll start at the bottom. We'll start at the fullbacks. Your Supercoach Fullback of the Year, Spy.
This is a little bit boring, but it's James Tedesco. Outstanding. The amount of games he played, the points he scored, lock him in at FB.
Clem?
Yeah, so mine's pretty boring too, because I also went TD, just vintage, top scorer in the game, top scorer in fullback, 94 average. For my team, he legitimately was holding us together many weeks. Yeah, so definitely him.
I mean, obviously boring. It's James Tedesco. What I will throw at you, though, so a 94 average, take out his injury impacted game of 4 against the Roosters, didn't last long. He nearly could have
Nearly
averaged
a ton.
100. We're not going to do runners-up for each position. I suppose we can if it's a unanimous vote out of 3, but who would your runner-up be? So we've got Scott Drinkwater, who averaged 78 points across 24 games. Exceptional. Tommy Trbojevic, 89, down in 18 games. We had Ruben Garrick, 69 point. Oh, he'd be CT dub. Dylan Edwards, a smoky there, 85 point average in 17 games. Gutho, as he does, ticked along to 69. You had Kalen Ponga, the 13th top scoring, because he 80 point average in 15 games. Who would your runner-up be, Spy?
Tough. In terms of just MVP material, Scotty Drinkwater playing every game and averaging 79 is pretty damn good. But also, if you held him all year, you would have missed a bit of the action around Turbo and Teddy at times and some of those real big ones. So to Tom Trbojevic averaging just shy of 90 again in 18 games. That's a lot of points, but who am I going to say? Under pressure here? Keanu Kinney. No. I'll go Scotty Drinkwater because he played every game. Huge result.
Clem?
I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm going to go Tommy T because I feel like people that bought him in, like, they got such a boost with, like, when he came back and he, like, scored all those tons. And, yeah, so he's going to be my runner-up, absolutely.
Tommy's mine as well, despite killing my team. I started the season saying the 140 average wasn't an anomaly and he could average 120 odd again. I held him through thick and thin through the early stages of the season. Didn't get him back for the back end when he averaged about 130, thanks Tommy, but the man's good at what he does, and I'll be honest, starting next year, it's going to be a red-hot fullback field.
Oh.
He'll be my first pick if he's fit again, and I'm not going to think twice about it. The CT dub position, centre, wing, spy, who'd you come up with?
This is tight. Probably no prizes for guessing. It's out of Valentine Holmes and Lomax. Oh, there's not much in this, ladies and gentlemen, but I think it's just going to have to be Valentine Holmes because he played one extra game, which is about 100 points more. 100 points is pretty handy, so Val, massive season. He might have had about minus 80 in missed tackles, but he more than made up for that in how hard he ran the footy.
We don't care about missed tackles in Supercoach.
Irrelevant when you score next set. So Val Holmes.
Clem?
I've gone for Carrez. He's just so fun to watch. Like, he's just one of those players that you love to watch, right? But also, you know, second top scoring CT dub, 7 tons in the year. Like, he can get a low score, but, man, just watching him, like, he's, yes, CT dub for me.
Played every game as well. Huge.
I very, very narrowly went Val Holmes over Zach Lomax. Val, 22 games for an 80-point average. He had 3 scores under 50, but only a low score of 44 points. Lomax, 21 games for a 79-point average, had 4 scores under 50, a low of 30, then 42. Yeah, it's really hard to separate them. But look, I'm going to go Val Holmes. So Val Holmes is our CT dub of the year. Moving on to a bit of a bludger of a position, as it turned out, but Spy, your 5'8" of the year.
Can't believe I'm saying this. It's on the numbers. Dylan Brown.
D-bags.
He ended up averaging 66.6, played every game. Lots started with him. He wouldn't have costed you a trade, or he didn't cost me a trade the whole season. And the only blokes above him only played 15 and 16 games. So, I mean, I can't give it to them. As close as Jaden Campbell would be. Very hard to rely on because he's in and out a lot throughout the year. So, in a very tight field, it's probably Dylan Brown somehow.
D-bags, but in what we reflect on and go, it was a poor year by his standards. He's just got 5'8" of the year for Spies 17.
Which is, seems crazy, but DB.
Clementine.
I went Lockie Galvin, and I went Lockie Galvin because, you know, he made 448k over, you know, the season. He's just always up there with points, like knocking out 70s, 80s, and he was such a shining light in his team. And I think people who held him, like, and had him in the back end of the season, like, they scored some big points out of him. So, yeah, I've definitely gone Lockie.
If we're going on value, which I know we include that as well, Galvin streets Dylan Brown, obviously. I'm changing mine, Lockie Galvin.
In that case, we've just become unanimous because I think the other thing you have to factor in there is, I mean, this could work two ways, but Brown's season average heavily inflated by his 165 points. So probably not as consistent as it sounds because of the 165.
But it's a very handy score late.
Well, if you let me finish, it was in grand final week.
Yeah.
So you bring that into it. Ooh, he delivered when they need him to. But look, I've gone Lockie Galvin. In 21 games, he averaged 64 points per year. Started at bottom dollar. He had 4 scores under 45, and that's the fact for me. Not only was he durable, he did miss grand final week, but that was a bye. That's not his fault. He made 450k by the end of the season. So Dillbag's actually lost cash. So look, it's got to be Lockie Galvin for me, which was remarkable for his first season in the NRL. What a future. Halfback of the year, Spy.
Easy answer,
Easy
Jerome
one.
Hughes.
Jerome Hughes.
I went Jerome Hughes, but then I also wanted to give a shout out to SJ just for being such a legend and having that fairy tale finish. So in my heart, SJ is the halfback of the year always.
So we've got SJ1, Hughes 1, Jerome Hughes far and above. And what just a remarkable year from him. Just reliable for the year. He had a little calf injury leading into the Origin period and just came out of that all guns blazing. Ton. They were everywhere. Terrific. And finished the season with that 180 odd. So
Ooh, I've got about 12 seconds to get SJ one more career award, but not this time, mate. Sorry, brother.
Do it. An interesting position for the season, the second row forward. Now, it's a pretty hot field here, and I'll read through a few of the nominees. Angus Crichton averaged 77 points in 20 games. David Fifita, 76 in 20 games. Isaiah Yeo, 74 in 22 games. Eliesa Katoa, 73 in 22 games. Hudson Young snuck up there, 70-point average in 22 games. A little bit of a sneaky one. Britton Nikora was 69 in 22 games. You've got Homole Olakwatu not far off that. Spy, who'd you come up with there? Hot field.
This was a hot field. Firstly, David Fifita averaging 0.9 or of a score off the top averaging second row in a year where if you said how'd Fifita play, you go, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good for the first 3 quarters of the year. Then he dropped off a bit. He struggled next to Campbell, didn't get much ball, got injured late. He was neck and neck with Crichton, who utterly killed it this year, which is remarkable.
Just on Fifita, next season, I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but his numbers dropped off as soon as Jaden Campbell went inside him and Foran switched to the right edge. Next season, if Foran starts inside him, Fifita's in my team. If he doesn't, he's not.
Simple as that. Yep. What if he's on the right edge with Foran? Just lock him in?
I'd lock him in.
Yep. I think I tend to agree. That being said, it's very neck and neck between Angus Crichton and Britton Nikora, because Nikora from round 12 onwards, I don't have the exact number. He averaged 80 plus. That's when you needed him. He was cheap. He was a difference maker. I'm going to give it to Crichton because he's outstanding all year, but Nikora is very close, boys and girls.
Big through head-to-head finals.
Yep.
Okay.
But I'll go Crichton because he deserves it, but he's not far off Britton.
Any chance you pick him one and just stick him with it, or
Yeah, I'm sticking with Crichton.
you just went, I'll go Nikora. You know what?
Did
I'll
I?
go Crichton.
Oh, I misspoke. I meant Nikora deserved it, but I'm going Crichton.
Okay.
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Got ya. Clementine?
Oh, I straight up went Crichton. He started the season so cheap, just impressed all season, tonned up so many times, scored 11 tries or something. He could really hurt you to not own him. So I absolutely Crichton.
The lack of respect on the name of Isaiah Yeo, who...
Very good.
Yeah, well, look, Isaiah Yeo averages 74 points for the season. Angus Crichton was 77. Angus Crichton also missed a lot of games through that Origin period. Isaiah Yeo, I think, backed up from almost all of them. He might have rested one of them. But I think even after Origin 1 from memory, the Panthers boys mass rested. Yeo played big minutes, scored well. So Yeo played 22 games for a 74-point average for the season. He only missed 2 games all season. One of those, was around Origin after a rest. Head-to-head finals, he had scores of 62, 86, 102, and 122 in grand final week.
Did storm home.
Considering Crichton barely played didn't start to fire until 7, 8, 9 rounds into the season, a lack of respect for Yoey.
Yeah, him and Elias Katoa, much the same. Just below, but not by far.
All right.
Respect where
Angus
due.
Crichton,
No knock there.
Angus Crichton gets it. Front row forward. Look, this was just an absolute walkover Spy.
Well, you'd think that until you look at what Mitch Barnett did
Yeah.
from about round 8. True difference maker for this year. You want to bring him up, actually, Mitch Barnett? Just click on him there. AFB, Fanua Blake is the one we're all, I think we're going to say. He was a standout front rower, consistent all year. I think he played, maybe every game, top average. So hard not to give him the win. But in terms of difference makers, Mitch Barnett from round 14 went 89, 88, 93, 138, 97, 60, 83, 76 at a time where a lot of us were navigating that bye period. That's the kind of stuff that wins you premierships. So whilst he's a bit in the Nikora mould, he's just off, and I think AFB deserves it. There's your difference maker right there, Mitch Barnett.
Fair enough. Enormous through Origin period. And then,
Dropped off late.
Dropped off late. I was actually going to say just lesser minutes with Warriors season done, but played 61, 80 and 36 those final 3 weeks. But, yeah, look, hard to go back on too much. Clementine, you are the wah on the table. And, look, I'm going to say it. I think it has to be Adam Fanua Blake. Who have you got?
I actually can't separate them, so I'm on the fence here. So AFB or Mitch Barnett, but look, I'm going to say AFB. I just think, it hurt not owning him, like when I didn't own him. So,
Bloody good.
AFB.
Adam Fanua-Blake with a 72-point average for the season. Mitchy Barnett was 67.5. After that, it was like Payne Haas 68, but in 14 games. Joey Tarpany 67 in 24 games. Pretty solid. Did a lot of damage late. Special mention to Terrell May, who, look, his average was 61, but I think for the majority out there who sat him in games where we knew he wasn't going to get that many minutes, played him through Origin when he was starting, I think that 61 average is probably closer to that 70 plus. So he was really, really big, certainly for the Stallion spy. I know you started with him, so a big one there. And what turned out to really be a bit of a bludger of a position, who did we vote for at hooker spy? Who gets your nod?
Damien Cook.
Yep.
Cookie, outstanding, just did a job in a team that was struggling away there. 23 games played, just shy of Harry Grant in average, but those 3 extra games and starting 100k or so cheaper, I think he gets a Spies nod.
Clem?
I have absolutely no right to be voting on this award at all.
Oh, I was wondering why you were laughing. That, mate, it's all adding up.
My cheap hooker debacle.
Levi or
But you know
Brayley?
what?
Who is it?
While I was frolicking with the Levis and the Cheeses and the Brayleys of the world, there was one outstanding person. So I'm going to channel my inner Nick Moon and give it to Jacob Little. Like, just absolutely came in, did an absolute job, like made so many tackles, like scored so many tons. What did he get? 119 in his last game. Like, made cash, kept his owners happy. He did exactly what a good hooker should do.
Fair enough. Yep. There you go. Look, I've also gone to Damien Cook. God, I mean, shouldn't say I can't believe I'm saying it because I'm his biggest fan. I just, in a year where the Bunnies went so poor and had all these injuries and you thought, then he signed to go to the Dragons, you thought maybe minutes would drop off. He just kept knocking them out and said very little to differentiate between Cookie and Harry Grant. But you mentioned Spy started 90k cheaper, played 3 more games. He had that Origin period coverage, which was fantastic. Harry Grant also was rested in grand final week. So, yeah, I think Damien Cook.
I think Cookie, credit to him, he took upon himself to try and create a bit for the Bunnies.
Yep.
So, whereas in other years he hasn't had to do that. So, fair play to him. He's still got a bit in him. That left foot step, he can still move.
Spy, that is our team of the year done and dusted. Let's get into a few of the special awards. Cheepy of the year.
I'll let you go first, Clementine.
Well, I'm going to give it to Galvin, like, definitely. So I think he deserves Rookie of the Year, so he can have my Cheepy of the Year. Just so many class performances from him in that team, and he's so young, made so much cash, like I said before, scored so many 70s, 80s, you know. I think he deserves Cheepy of the Year.
Yep, I agree. Lockie for me. I'm actually on the lookout for an SJ replacement. Maybe it will be Lockie Galvin, and I started the year with him.
Yeah, I've gone to KL Iro, and look, it was a bit of a coin toss, and it could have gone either way between Galvin and Iro. I think he started bottom dollar as well, or it might have been 219k or something, and I just think being in such a volatile position like CT Dub, like Galvin, to be fair, he was very durable. I think he might have missed the first couple of rounds, then I don't think he missed a game for the rest of the year. Earned a ton of money, did all his damage through head-to-head finals and when those attacks started to come. But just, in a volatile position where there's low scoring, he was so rock solid. Not Galvin's fault, but he was in 5'8", where traditionally it is, or historically it's been a high-scoring position. So, look, I'm going to go with KL Iro. Going through these awards, gee, it's hurt me. Like, Fanua-Blake didn't own, Hughes didn't own, Iro didn't own. So, absolutely a killer. Spy, the most improved this season.
Most improved.
And
where
look, if we're talking pure stats, it's Angus Crichton. He averaged bugger all last year. I don't even know if he played any games last year. Might have played a handful at the end of the season. But year on year, Angus Crichton was far above the best. But let's look beyond him.
I didn't pick him anyway, regardless of that.
Didn't pick him anyway. There you go.
I've got a cracker, and it's Dylan Edwards. Traditionally, he plays that role for Penrith out the back there. Big work rate, but isn't the key man around like your try assists and your tries and all that. This year, Nath out and in like a I won't go there. Dylan Edwards up to he averaged 85. He averaged 95 up until the Origin period. 95 at fullback. year previous, if you jot up there, I think he might average, in the 70s? 69? So he literally improved his output up until Origin by 26 points, and he then allowed you to move to whoever you want after that. So he's my most improved for the year.
Clementine?
My most improved, it feels weird to be doing this, but I'm giving it to Teddy. And this is because, last year he had a 69-point average. This year he had the 94-point average. And just like the improvement in his game, Supercoach-wise, was massive. So it could hurt you not owning him. So, yeah, Teddy.
Inspire, you're sort of sitting there thinking, like, Angus Crichton, we've seen him do it. We knew he could do it.
Yeah.
Had a tough year last season, but we'd seen it before, so I was like, well, it wasn't entirely
just needed to be healthy and doing his thing.
Whereas the case for Teddy, he's a lot older. Crichton's still in the prime of his career, prime age. Teddy was getting on and we thought, is he done, at least in terms of elite fullback Supercoach status? Turns out he wasn't.
Boom.
I do like the Crichton one, but I was Edwards with you, Spy. I just thought he elevated himself among an elite group of Supercoach fullbacks. So I think, he was fantastic. Now, if he was the most improved, who was the biggest disappointment, Spy?
Greggy Marju. And it wasn't his fault. Like, he was having a crack. He was running hard. The service he just started getting on that left edge fell off an absolute cliff. Ponga out for a long period of the season. Then he came back. Bradman Best wasn't playing, so they essentially figured out how to really unlock that right edge and find Dan Gagai and Fletcher Sharp, and poor old Greg didn't see anything. So I don't know how many tries he scored in the last 5-6 weeks, but it couldn't be more than, one?
Yeah, well, I'll jump in on Clem, and I had the same. I had Greg the leg. 52-point average down from 77 the season prior. That was in 21 games. You said it. It wasn't Greg's fault. He lost Best for periods, Kalen Ponga for longer periods. They started attacking down the right. Yeah, his base was really good and the effort was there. He just wasn't getting quality attacking ball, particularly the back end of the season when the Knights went on a bit of a run to make finals. He had finals. He scored 38, 74, 38, 39. He had 7 tries in 21 games, just the 1 ton, 5 scores over 50. Yeah, just a massive drop-off and a dagger for many of us.
Yep.
Clem, who'd you come up with?
Well, I just looked at my own team for this one, and my biggest disappointment was Nico. And a 75-point average doesn't sound that bad, but I had him for all the 40s as well, and all the low scores as well, the 3-point captaincy. So definitely it was my own fault for keeping on bringing him back in. But yeah, big news, I don't think I'll be starting next season with him.
Crap.
Breaking it here.
You absolutely be starting with Nico, because he'll be cheaper as well. It'll be about 770k or something.
You know me too well.
I will be clipping this up and saving it for next year.
He'll be what now? 770.
Yeah, you will.
I'll just look at that here and I'll just be like, okay then.
Done. Coaches Award. Now this one is subjective. The player with a soft spot in your heart from the year, Spy. Who will you remember?
We'll do a little countdown. Just the two of them. Lockie Galvin at 2. He's got a special place. But
you started with him, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
That was good from you.
I sort of went out on a limb on him and Terrell May. So that's when I was like, it's going to be a good year. But next year I've got to maintain the rage there. My coach's award, it's pretty clear cut. It's Jacob, that's a hot name, Carraz. Which no one else understands except the 4 people in this room, but I absolutely love him. Coach's award, dead set. I owned him, I don't know if I owned him the whole year. I got him round 3, but I love that kid. Absolutely love him. Done. Locked in, Coach's award.
Clem?
All right, well, it definitely goes to SJ for me. He has my heart. Just bringing him in for that, his last game was worth missing out on Jerome Hughes points the next week for. Honk if you're Shawnee, absolutely. He is just my coach's award.
Yeah, retired in style with that final game at Shark Park and sent Clem viral on the Warriors Instagram feed. For myself, an easy one in what was a very, very tough year for the Stallions, the crowning moment, Tyron Wishart. Brought him in as a bit of a super pod play. He had big scores, made me about 300 grand. Just love the bloke. And just on top of that, he was just a joy to watch on the footy field. So might have a premiership to his name this year as well. We'll see. Now, what do we got? Clementine Special Awards. The one we've all been waiting for. There's one more. What is it, Spike?
Did we do... I think we did.
MVP.
The MVP.
I was going to go to Clem Specials into the MVP.
Go for it.
So my specials?
Yeah.
You're on.
Okay, so obviously we're going to start with the Hair of the Year award, and we all know I have a bit of a fetish for hair. So I'm actually going to give it a little bit different this year. I'm going to give it to the great bearded one. So Sammy Walker, he grew a beard and he just started scoring points.
The facial hair gets it done.
It just got it done, right? Like, so he started assisting his own tries, getting the two, like giving the finger to anyone that didn't trade him in, like as if you're going to have any piece of the points. Like, he is Hair of the Year, 100%.
I like that.
Nice. I think Sammy Walker's about the only bloke on the planet who I can grow better facial hair than. It was a scrappy beard, but he did it. I thought you were going to say Mark Nichols there for a second. What else you got for us?
Okay, so we have the Best Try Celebration Award. And so the Best Try Celebration Award goes to the modern day Romeo and Juliet, the final scene, Latrell and Reese sharing that beautiful moment of mutual cramps on the line.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
when Latrell scored that try, that's 100% the best try celebration I've ever seen.
One of the great moments of 2024.
Yeah, good.
I like it.
Definitely. Worst try celebration. So that's Sully kicking Tua Piloto in the arse when he scored a try versus the Broncos. That would have to be the worst try celebration of all time.
Yeah, easy win there. Yes, like that.
Best jacking, Jerome Hughes. Like, he has to get the best jacking award.
That was only a week or two ago, hey?
Yeah, 100%. Was versus the Dolphins, I think, was it? No.
The Hindmarsh Best Dacking of the Year award.
It was perfect, but we have to give special mention to Teddy because like his ass is always out. So yeah, definitely a special mention in that one.
Yep.
The Run It Straight award. Now I think it's Spencer Leniu. Imagine like just having him run at you would be absolutely crazy, and he's just so vicious, and that's all he wants to do is like hurt you. But I'm going to give it to Spy. Spy, who's your Run It Straight award?
Well, to me, it's got to be Nathan Brown off the back fence at Brookie Oval. Got to respect that big fella, doesn't he? He has a crack. And he's not as strong as Spencer Leniu either.
Another nomination there, and I never thought I'd say this because I didn't know like how tough he was, and he's quite small, and he was only like 18 or 19, but Chevy Stewart, after getting dropped, came back in and he started Carmichael hunting, like the kamikazing from fullback, little bloke at some big boys. So special mention to Chevy.
Huge shout out to Chevy. That's good shout.
Clem,
That concludes my awards.
well done.
Thank
I like
you.
it.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, how we like it. Now, on to the big one, the MVP, the most valuable player of 2024. Spy, hit us with your best shot.
It's been a few, good song that, there's a few special mentions of runs throughout the year that could be real difference makers, which to me, that's what an MVP is, a real difference maker. I'll give one more shout out before I roll into my real MVP, but it's Keanu Kinney for rounds 12 to 16. Was worth about 350, 400k. He scored 132, 42, 112, 153 in a 4-week period over the buys and made $300,000. That's MVP material.
I had him in my special mentions for Cheepy of the year.
Yep.
He made 435k at his peak.
Wow.
Probably potentially a little bit hard done by, but
I might start with him next year.
Yeah.
Tempting. But look, well deserved. James Tedesco. We've talked about him. What a legend, firstly. One of the great blokes, as far as I can tell. And from the depths of Father Time, pulling him down to, I'm back, baby. James Tedesco. How good.
like it. Clem?
Teddy is 100% my MVP. No question about it. 11 tons, like back to his vintage form. Like, oh my God. MVP.
James Tedesco for me also unanimous, and it's so joyful to say that at the beginning of this year we questioned this Supercoach output. As you said, was Father Time bringing him down? The answer was no. He's put up a remarkable season that could lead him towards another Dally M medal at this season. But as I said, 94-point average, that would have been pretty damn close to 100 if he didn't get that 4-point injury impacted game against the Dogs earlier on in the season. As you said, Clem, 11 tons in 22 games. You add in the head-to-head finals aspect. In the head-to-head finals, Tedesco, he had a bye week 1, and then he went 125, 130, 104, and then if your head-to-head grand final was round 27, finished with 140. Unbelievable. So Jimmy Tedesco, the most valuable player. That'll wrap us up for the SC Playbook award show for 2024. It'll also wrap us up for the 2024 Supercoach season. Massive, massive thank you for all the support to the podcast across the year. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, but we did peak on the Australian sporting podcast charts at number 2 earlier on in the season. obviously would not have happened without the support of the SC Playbook and the Supercoach community in general. Touch on this one every single year, and I can nearly copy-paste it, but the Supercoach community and the SC Playbook community in particular just fosters a very good space, a very positive space. People can have opinions, have a chat, and enjoy the game of rugby league and, of course, NRL Supercoach. We do have plenty of content to come throughout the NRL finals, wrapping a few things up, YouTube, socials, all that good stuff. So do follow us along there. But a much-needed spell is in place, and to give this voice box a bit of a rest, and to give you a rest from this voice box, because I'm over me, so I'm assuming listeners are over me. We'll kick off our Supercoach BBL, our Big Bash content, late October, around about that sort of time there. Also expanding some greater general cricketing content for the summer. We'll also be doing a bit more NRL off-season Supercoach NRL off-season content once we do come back from that spell as well. So stay tuned for that. Spy, it's been a big year, mate. Thank you.
You beauty team. Thanks to the boss. Done well. Thanks to Matty. Here every week. What a trooper. Even on the plane to Grace. Huge effort. Clementine, love the jersey. Love the year. See if you knock me off next year. But now you're in my rearview mirror. It won't be happening. But yeah. Might shock it here, but I'm absolutely pumped for footy season 2025, and I'm coming in after 2 years of just a little bit of trial and error around the evolving game. I'm coming in hot, guys.
Love it, mate.
Cheers.
Pleasure as always. And Clementine, another huge season from you.
Thank you so much for having me for another season. I've absolutely loved every single moment of it. Spy, I've got you right where I want you for next year.
Yeah,
Don't
on the
you
beers.
worry.
It's the only place you've got me that you want me.
But yeah, thanks again to everybody, and yeah, amazing.
And last but not least, the unsung hero of the Playbook podcast. He does it for absolute pennies. He doesn't whinge when we go overtime. We keep him late at night on the side of his full-time job. Matty the Waterboy.
Can you hear us, Matty?
mate.
Can you hear us?
I can hear.
You're there, Matty.
Thanks.
Have we got you?
Thanks everyone. No, it's been a good year, and I'm with you, Spy. I can't wait for next year. I'm really excited already.
Matty the Waterboy, the real MVP. Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the off-season. We'll see you come the summer of cricket.